Hey everybody, we're doing something a little bit different today. So when I conceived of this idea of the series of interviews, I thought of the people that inspired me the most as far as them being authentic people. And the reason that I did it is because I felt like I wanted to give a broad example of people that I feel to be particularly authentic. I wanted to share with you people who live their lives authentically and remind people that it's something that we can all do. We're all going to do it differently, obviously, and that I connect with a variety of different people. And I'm hoping that even if you don't necessarily connect directly with me, you connect with one or some of the people that I have interviewed and would feel comfortable working with me on a coaching basis or suggesting me to your friends or whatever. So one of the people who I interviewed who was not on my list is my sister. So that's who we have today, Chelsea Pohl. And Chelsea and I have a separate website, which I will link. It's a YouTube channel called Holding You Hostage, which is an extension of when we were little kids and we just liked to hold people hostage, making them watch us sing and do plays and stuff like that. So we recognize that our sense of humor is not everybody's, but and the only thing that we decide needs to happen in every Holding You Hostage episode is it needs to make me and my sister laugh. So anyway, so this episode of the Authenticity Speaks Volumes series is a mashup of Holding You Hostage and Authenticity Speaks Volumes. And there's some really awesome content in it, particularly about motherhood, parenting, and just finding peace within. So my sister actually does deliver some real and very helpful insights, but it's surrounded on either side with a sandwich of very silly. So I just wanted to give you a heads up of that, why this was happening. Secondarily, I kind of was thinking this past week, like, wow, I had this idea that I was going to express this huge launch of awesome interviews, and it's going to launch my coaching business. And I've had a couple bites, which is very exciting and awesome. But not as many as I thought I would. And then I realized, like a couple days ago, wait a second, I haven't even asked anybody to sign up for my coaching progresses. So I'm asking you, if you feel like you need some help accessing parts of yourself that feel stuck or frustrated, I'm here to help you. I am pulling together, I've already pulled together a curriculum of a 4-month journey of the self, and I will be posting more information about it. If you're interested, I can tell you more about it. We go through 8 different modules, which I've written down so I don't forget: expression, spirit, embodiment, emotion, peace of mind, selflessness, environment, and community. So if there's any of those parts, which I haven't even explained yet, but if there's any of those that even trigger something like, oh my gosh, I need some help with that, let me know. Right now I'm just doing free discovery calls just to kind of make sure that we're both good fits for each other. And I will link that link below as well. And in the meantime, I hope you really, really enjoy this silly and fun interview. Are you there, Chelsea? Hey.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
You got to put on your video. There you go.
There's my little thing.
What do you want to do?
I wanted to interview me.
We're holding you hostage authentically. back a little bit so that you can see your face. Not that far. Now we can't see it.
You have a mermaid by your head.
And she has a merman friend.
I've been recording interviews of people that I find particularly authentic.
Immediately thought of me.
I didn't immediately think of you. You asked to be interviewed. So
I was shocked.
Okay, so if you want to be interviewed, here we go. Ready? Tell me a little bit about why you think you are worth being interviewed about authenticity.
I like to be interviewed because it's fun.
You like being asked questions.
Yes.
What are the top things or experiences or projects in your life that make you or have made you proud?
I guess, well, well, I don't know. There's a lot of things to be proud of. Okay, no, I'm proud that I've done Derby. That's my most recent proudness. Because that was something I thought I could never do. I think it's been a big challenge and I've kept on showing up for it, and I've slowly but surely gotten better and still have a lot to learn and keep showing up for it because it's hard and rewarding and exciting and fun and is an amazing community to be a part of. So that's one. And then I'm proud of, I don't know, I guess like kind of getting my life together in a way that I've just taken slow steps gradually over the time to kind of get where I'm at. And that feels good. And
what's wrong with your life that you had to get it together?
I don't mean get it together in a way that it was wrong. I just mean piecing it together in a way of building it, like building blocks. And I'm proud of my kids. My kids do things every once in a while that make me really proud. Like Phoenix the other day, two of her friends were playing, and one kid or another kid came over and said, "You guys are gay." And Phoenix was like, "Yeah, well, we'd be lucky if we were."
Aww.
And I was so proud to hear that she just stood up for gay people and was totally like, yeah, like, thanks. She's 8, so I thought that's pretty awesome. And then Tiger does things all the time that make me proud because she's just such an awesome, solid human. So they're reflections of me, I think, and when they are and do good things, I feel very proud.
Don't give yourself so much credit.
I know.
No,
I also don't do things right all the time as far as parenting goes, and it's very hard.
Why?
Because it's incredibly difficult to be resourced all the time to give your children exactly what they need all the time.
How do you deal with that and still let yourself be you?
Try to find time and outlets, try to carve out time and outlets for myself. Derby's been a huge part of that. And making time with girlfriends and making time for self-care. But
what's your self-care stuff?
Exercise, just like unscheduled time where I can make choices about what I want to do in the moment. Hiking. I don't know, sometimes like getting a massage or coming home to a clean house, like if I hire a cleaner or if I clean the house myself, that's like huge self-care because it makes my whole world relax. Like I can come home and be relaxed. Not cooking sometimes is self-care, but then also sometimes cooking is self-care because it's like, oh, I'm going to make a really healthy meal. Trying to like do things that remind me of who I am without my kids and family.
How do you know who you are?
That's a hard one. That's a good one. It's when I feel a feeling that I used to feel all the way when I was little. So it's like knowing deep in your bones that this thing that you're doing or thing that you like or way that you are is right for you. So I used to have that feeling when I was about 16 and I would drive around in my Jeep and I would pull over on the side of the road and I would listen to like Stevie Nicks or something and I would probably smoke pot and I just would be by myself in nature, sitting in my car, happiest ever. And I would sometimes write poetry. And those moments were super awesome, like super connected to me, just me time and being just present.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been harder and harder to find those types of moments as I'm older and as I have more responsibilities. When I was doing a lot of art, I would find that feeling because I'd be doing sculpture and it would all sort of flow and I'd be very present with the process and like it would be therapeutic and I knew exactly that's where I should be in that moment and there was nothing other than that I should be doing.
What gives you meaning?
Like what gives me purpose?
Sure. Well,
Hmm.
maybe purpose gives you meaning.
Maybe.
Which I just interviewed our uncles, Graham and Clive, and was saying how being someone who is always doing stuff and being purposeful and creating or whatever, like that's such a Pohl trait to feel like we have to be doing all the time.
Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah, I'm actually really proud of myself when I don't do things because that's harder for me than to just do it.
Yeah.
When I make a conscious choice to not do something that I'm supposed to do, that's like, whew, that's like a big deal.
Yeah.
But I suppose that comes from listening to a deeper knowing of what I need. But I don't think that's your question. Your question is what gives me purpose or meaning? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I want to leave the world a better place or something, but I'm pretty sure that most of our actions are pretty ego driven. Pretty sure that most of the things we do are for some sort of like ego driven thing. So I'm cautious about my ambitions sometimes, at least now. I used to not be. I used to be like, oh my God, yeah, do all the things. And now I feel like I'm a little bit more cautious about my ambitions because I think that they're not as pure as maybe I'd like them to be.
How do you know if they're pure?
How do I know if they're pure? Because they don't go away. Like the things that I want to do with myself or my time that don't go away. And also they give me that same feeling I was talking about before where it's like I just feel really connected and really this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
You feel like you're 17 smoking pot.
pretty there's something to that. way simpler than I think. No, but I think that too, when I have an ambition now, I give myself a little bit more time. I don't necessarily jump right on it anymore. Like, I'll let it simmer for a while and think about it and figure out, is it really what I want to do, or is my ego trying to make me do that for some stupid reason?
What are the stupid reasons?
Some sort of sense of proving myself, usually. To gain position or prove popularity. But
You're good at it.
I hate it.
You're good at it. She's really popular.
They had something to say about it. I'm pretty sure the deepest part of that is that we all want to feel loved and accepted. And so that's where that drive comes from, is like wanting everyone to love me. That's like super important. Like, oh yeah, if everybody loves me, then I will have done all of the things. And I think that's a hard one for me to grapple with, is that not everybody's gonna love me.
I love you.
A bushel and a peck.
A bushel and a peck.
That one is like sort of a big life lesson for me to learn right now. Is that not everybody's gonna love me, and they're not all gonna love my ideas, and I'm not always gonna be right. And that I will experience people in my world who disagree with me. And that's hard for me. So, yeah.
Okay, for real though, I mean, when you were in high school, you were super popular.
Well,
everywhere you went, you're like a major chameleon. Like, you're really good at fitting in wherever you are so that people like you.
mm-hmm.
What is the benefit and negative aspects of that?
Well, hold on. First of all, I have to say that I wasn't always super popular, and that I went through a really awkward phase from late 8th grade all the way to end of sophomore year. So there was a good chunk of time there where shit was not easy, and it was rough, and it was soul searching, and I was not popular at all. That was the truth. You don't remember.
Compared to me, you were still way popular.
Well, all comparisons aside, that was my experience, was that that was not my experience at all from those years.
I think that's probably everyone's experience in those years, FYI.
At least sometime in those chunks of time, like at least sometime, middle school through high school. Yeah. And I think if we don't go through that, we don't really learn a lot about ourselves. So I think it's important. I learned a lot about myself in that time. And I feel like I came out of that time having a really pretty decent sense of who I was. So that was good. But I think that I think from that experience, the experiences I had during those years, I realized that we all suffer. And I realized that we can all connect because of our suffering, because we all know what it feels like, or we can know what it feels like. So when someone else is suffering, that's a touch point where you can connect to someone. So I think that was my takeaway of like, oh, I can relate to anybody. You know, that made me feel like there was not a barrier or a boundary to connect, and that there was a way. There was always a way to connect with people, and you just had to figure out the ways. And if you went deep enough, you could figure it out. And so I think that drove a lot of my self in that for the next chunks of time, because I'd meet people, and even if we argued or have disagreements, I would be like, well, there's a way to connect. And if I just get to that point, I'll find it, and then I'll know them, and they'll know me, and it'll be amazing. I guess maybe that influenced my outward self, to where I didn't see barriers between people. I don't know. Maybe I had a strong sense of self. I feel like I did.
Do you remember what your MySpace about me said? It said, "I'm pretty cool."
Right? I should make that my new status update. Not my status update, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, I think that carried me through, and then I think it does serve me because I am able to connect with a lot of people if I take the time to. But I think the ways it doesn't serve me is that I sometimes I get really flustered when I can't convince someone of something. So I feel like I sometimes think that if it sounds terrible, if people just thought like me, the world would be a better place. Isn't that terrible? That's pretty egocentric.
Feels.
Right?
And I think it's really important to let go of that.
Oh yeah, I got to work on that.
But also
also it doesn't. What?
Also, you are pretty cool.
I know, and like, trust me, guys. If you just believed in me and also believed what I believe, you'd be a lot happier. It's so effed up. It's so egocentric. No, but what I'm trying to say is that sometimes I think the chameleon aspect of things makes it harder for me to find my authentic self in situations or feel uncomfortable when I bring myself to a thing and then I'm like, who am I here? This is weird, you know?
What do you mean you bring yourself to a thing?
Like planting Chelsea in a place that's not normal for her can be very uncomfortable. So, yeah, I mean, being strong in who I am without having to change anything to fit in is really weird. So, and uncomfortable. So, no, it's like putting on a dress or high heels or something. Like, you're like, why am I doing this? I don't want to wear these things.
You gotta get dresses, girl. Dresses sometimes feel like a nightgown.
True. No, I wear dresses sometimes. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you try to wear something because you feel like you're supposed to, and then it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good either. Look at your face. I'm kidding. You're beautiful.
You're fired.
Okay, thank you for joining me today. Even though you asked to be interviewed.
I like to insert myself in places I'm not welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Also, if somebody was sitting across from you and they were feeling stuck or frustrated in their life, what advice would you give them?
Oh, I have a good one. This is something that I think really helps. Is where you, so you physically stand up and you close your eyes and you imagine all the ways in which things are now in relation to the thing that's making you feel stuck. And you physically take a step forward towards it. And then you notice all the ways that your body feels. And you just check in there, okay? And then you maybe write some notes or you tell the person that you're with all those things that you felt and feel, and tell them about like where you felt it in your body and stuff. And then you take another minute and you close your eyes and then you imagine all the ways things could be in relation to the thing that makes you feel stuck, and you envision what you want and how it looks and what it could look like, and then you take a step towards it. And then you know all the things in your body and the sensations and the feelings and the thoughts and all that. And you write all that down. And then you have a physical touchstone of knowing what your body wants.
A physical touchstone being your journal?
I would say your body.
Oh.
Your body knows so much more than we give it credit for.
Yeah.
So getting your body to give you the answer is kind of helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that.
You can use that. Just if you save the lives of millions, just I want credit.
Because your ego doesn't need it.
She wants it.
Is the idea that you have an ambition.
Jerk. I think you should definitely use the HUH video of me dancing on the couch. That's pretty authentic. I mean, when you hear music and you can't help yourself.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.